Two mothers, one hope. The night of the ball had become the talk of the kingdom. The secret was out. The dam had been broken. Prince Erwin did not want a wife. He wanted a husband. At first, the king's greatest fear led him to hide Erwin away from the public eye, ashamed of the scandal. But instead of retreating into silence, something unexpected happened. More and more young men and women across the kingdom began to openly declare their true feelings, who they loved, who they wished to marry. Where the monarchy had once seemed outdated and irrelevant, struggling to capture the hearts of the younger generation, Erwin's defiance brought a newfound energy to the kingdom. The courage of one prince had sparked a revolution, a movement of love without restrictions. In the city square, young people gathered before the town hall, their voices rising in unison. Love is love, without any boundaries. Ironically, the unexpected movement had turned the tide in the king's favor. His popularity soared, not because he had led the cause, but because he had not stood in its way when Erwin took his stand. The palace made an official announcement. Prince Erwin would not be seeking a princess, and there would be no future royal balls for matchmaking. Yet, despite the waves of celebration, Erwin had not left his room for days. Trays of untouched food remained outside his door. The prince, once the most considerate and beloved among the palace staff, was now a prisoner of his own sorrow. The servants, who had always adored his kindness, slipped notes beneath his door, whispered encouragement through the keyhole, and knocked gently, just to let him know they still admired him. But Erwin remained silent. Every day the queen knocked softly on his door, her heart aching. "Erwin, my son, please talk to me," she pleaded. From behind the heavy wooden door came a tired, hushed voice. "I'm still alive," he muttered bitterly. Meanwhile, across town, Ivo had also locked himself away. He refused to leave his room, his mother growing sick with worry. She had seen him through heartbreak before, but this was different. This time she wasn't sure if he would bounce back. His sisters gathered at the house, calling an emergency family meeting. They took turns staying by his side, ensuring he ate, helping him bathe when he was too weak to do it himself. But Ivo did not speak. Back at the palace, the queen stood outside Erwin's door once again. That evening she knocked lightly and, with a soft voice, began to sing the lullaby he had loved as a child. "My little twinkle stars, it's me, your mother. I brought your favorite hot chocolate. Please, open the door. I am worried sick about you." For a long moment, there was only silence. Then, just as she was about to turn away, the door creaked open. The queen's breath hitched as she saw her son's face. Pale, gaunt, drained of all color. He looked weak, as though he had barely eaten or slept. Without hesitation, she set the cup aside and pulled him into a tight embrace. "Oh, my love, why are you doing this to yourself?" she whispered, tears slipping down her face. Erwin let out a shuddering breath, his voice barely above a whisper. "Mum, I don't know what to do anymore. I can't stop thinking about him. His face, the way he looked at me, how disappointed he was. How people laughed at him, how I let it happen, how I never told him the truth." His voice grew louder, more frantic. "Where is he? Does he hate me? Will he ever forgive me?" Tears rolled down his cheeks as he collapsed into his mother's arms. The queen wiped his tears gently. "My son, this is all my fault. We should have listened to you instead of forcing you into this. I will never forgive myself if anything happens to you." Erwin sniffled. "But the kingdom, father." The queen chuckled softly. "Your brothers are already fighting over the throne. They seemed quite relieved that you're out of the competition." Erwin sighed. "Mom, you know I never wanted to be king." She nodded. "Then, tell me, my love, what can I do for you?" Erwin's voice cracked. "I feel lost. And Ivo, I don't think he'll ever forgive me." The queen cupped her son's face. "Listen to me, the entire town is talking about you." Erwin let out a hollow laugh. "I know I'm an embarrassment." "No, my love," she corrected. "The young people admire you, and Ivo, that's his name, right?" Erwin nodded, his lips twitching into a faint smile at the sound of Ivo's name. The queen smiled back. "The people see you and Ivo as their heroes. You have no idea how many people now feel seen because of you." For the first time in days, hope flickered in Erwin's eyes. "But what about Ivo?" he asked. "I don't care about the kingdom, I just want to know if he's okay." That night, Erwin fell asleep with his head in his mother's lap, just as he had done as a child. As she stroked his hair, she made a silent promise. She would not stand by and watch her son suffer. She had to do something. In Ivo's house, his mother prepared breakfast while his sisters took turns watching over him. Since the ball, they had cared for him in shifts, making sure he was fed, helping him wash, sitting by his bedside, hoping he would speak again. Suddenly, a loud knock on the door made everyone jump. "Who is it?" Ivo's mother called, wary of early morning visitors. A strong, commanding voice answered. "It's her." A pause, then, the voice softened into something almost gentle. "A friend is here to see Ivo." Before Ivo's mother could respond, the door swung open. A woman entered the house, her elegant presence undeniable. Though she wore a large cloak that concealed her, it was impossible to hide her regal aura. Ivo's sisters gasped. "Yee! Your Highness!" The Queen lifted a gloved hand, signaling for silence. "No, please. I did not come here as a queen." She paused, as if carefully choosing her words. "I came here as a mother." Ivo's mother stepped forward, instinctively shielding her son. "Please," she whispered. "Spare my son. I know he has caused trouble, but please don't punish him. He has suffered enough." The Queen shook her head. "You misunderstand," she said softly. "I am not here to punish Ivo. I am here, on behalf of my son, Erwin." At the mention of Erwin's name, Ivo's sisters gasped again. "Ivo, Ivo, open up, the Queen is here." Ivo's mother exhaled shakily, her eyes filled with tears. She turned back to the Queen. "I can only imagine how difficult this must be for your son," she whispered. The Queen's eyes softened. For a long moment the two mothers simply looked at each other, neither saying a word. But in that silence, they understood each other completely. Because they had both carried the same fear. Because they had both raised sons who were different. Because they only wanted what was best for them. As the evening wore on, the Queen and Ivo's mother sat at the dining table, sipping tea and speaking in hushed voices. They shared moments of joy, heartache, and worry, their words flowing effortlessly, as though they were old friends who had finally found each other. Ivo's sisters watched in fascination. They had never seen two women from such different worlds speak so intimately, not as a queen and a commoner, but as two mothers who deeply loved their sons. By the time the sun began to set, the women had come to an agreement. When they rose from the table, there was no sadness in their eyes. Instead, they smiled, not just at each other, but at the possibilities that lay ahead. The future of their sons had already begun to change. A long moment, the two mothers simply looked at each other. They didn't need to speak, they understood each other completely. Because they had both carried the same fear. Because they had both raised sons who were different. Because they only wanted what was best for them.